That's a good one because I didn't hit it very well.
Right.
Caught it very thin.
Got away with it. 15 millimeters low.
Yeah. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So big review today, Michael.
Exciting.
Very exciting. COBRA limited irons, 3D printed.
We're in the future, baby.
We're in the future. This is a look into the future. There's quite a lot of buzz, there has been certainly, about 3D printing and how that's going to influence the future of golf clubs. We are seeing it here. This is the first set to come to the mass market. Bryson obviously has been dabbling a little bit in his own world with 3D printed golf clubs. But COBRA really, in all honesty, and I've been a little bit privy to some of the conversations around this 3D stuff for a while. I think it was probably 2 years ago, you know, we done all the kind of, you know, non-disclosure agreements and all that stuff, and we actually had a conversation with COBRA about 3D printed irons and what that future may look like, and we got a little look behind the curtain as to some of the things that they were doing. So wasn't surprised to see this come, but very impressed with the first sort of product that they've put out there.
It feels quick that they've come to like technically mass market, right? You can eventually buy these sets of irons, but
very soon.
you know, if we're here now, what's 3D printed look like in 10 years time? Are we printing irons to a person?
Not in 10 years time.
Yeah, who knows?
Before that.
Who knows? But it's impressive.
Yeah, I think you've basically hit the nail on the head of the future of what 3D printing offers. It's the individualization of these types of products. It's the ability for these to be made in smaller batches. It's costly for now. That will go down as you know, machinery and parts and sort of processes are sort of, they can speed that up a little bit. But as of right now, it's quite expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is fine. I mean, there's other, you know, very popular golf clubs in the golf industry that sell often every day for the same price. The Muras of the world. Yeah. You know, obviously Title's Concept. You know, there's lots of other irons that are selling at this price point. So I don't look at the prices, to be honest, as a detraction. It's not like they've went in at double what that was. Right.
Cool. Yeah. So we're going to test some 4-iron, 7-iron pitching wedge. Thoughts right out of the gates when we took them out of the box and we've all looked at them. I mean, right away for me, very clean, very not bladey, but like definitely there's some help behind there, but really, really impressive looking.
Really impressive, very, very much a muscle back look. It's simple. I mean, I love when a manufacturer just leaves this sort of, this pad fairly blank and just puts their name on it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we've seen other companies do that and I love when they do that. It's very, very simple. There's no kind of like flashy highlighter sort of colors on there. There's none of that. It doesn't need it. No. Because all the important stuff is under the hood. You get a little look at it with this lattice design at the back, an idea of obviously how they're able to save the weight that they are in order to put the amount of tungsten they have in the toe and the heel. An amazing feat in itself, something that really is kind of been desirable for a long time, but not possible. Really.
Definitely. I mean, that's not just aesthetic, you know, the inside. We've got some images I'm sure we'll put in this video. There's a lot more of this inside. It's cool that they've exposed it because I think it, you know, definitely shows people like, yeah, this is what we're working with. But it looks awesome. Excited to see the numbers.
Without a doubt. All right, let's get into some numbers. We're looking at these being quite like King Tour. 1 degree stronger in loft though. So you know, they're not players. They maybe are borderline players' distance in performance. They certainly aren't in looks. Right. So yeah, let's see what they give us.
If it has 140 yards, a little longer than what we normally have the green set to, just the loft thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably 136 to 140 is probably going to be the carry number. Yeah, loft. I play my own pitch wedge at 45. This is kind of, you know, similar to that. I hit a few with them. They feel like they've got. I don't know whether it's the stability you get from the tungsten and just feeling like every shot's a solid shot, but I just feel like they're going to go. They're going to go pretty far.
Okay, let's see it. Solid strike out of the gate.
Yeah, pretty good.
Little lower strike.
They actually don't. They don't feel like they're there. They feel not bad at all. Better.
Yeah, nice strike.
Better, Michael.
I mean, right now, those 3 strikes, basically 10 millimeters low.
Yeah.
Again, with the help of that tungsten, you really do get away with it. Spin's really good, launch is nice.
It's all pretty manageable, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Bit higher on the blade.
Pretty consistent. Okay, Fries, into the 7-iron, I see you looking at that lattice 3D printed.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, the whole head is like that on the inside. And then down below, we have up to 100 grams of tungsten.
Yeah.
Not the heaviest we've seen in the industry, but obviously the trend we've seen of, tungsten low. We saw it on the wedge. Quad was saying you were 10 millimeters, 11 millimeters low on the head. And I mean, you would never think that. Now, without tungsten, I'd love to see where those shots were and how that spin changes.
Yes, that's the thing, isn't it? It's the unstable nature of that spin, the ball speed sort of dips, all those sorts of things. Like, it feels to me, it's like riding a bike with kind of like training wheels on, or like putting down the stabilizers on a cruise ship. Like, putting that much of weight out wide just stabilizes the whole mass.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what it gets hit with. It's going to be much more stable than if it's in its narrow CG, kind of obvious CG position still there, Mikey. But, when you place mass out on this side, it really makes the structure so much more stable. So, yeah, we'll see a little bit about that. Obviously, I'm very likely to test it.
I think with all that tungsten too, it gives you giving someone a stable iron once you get fitted, gives the customer who maybe would like something slimmer looking.
That's who this is aimed at, isn't it?
But also the forgiveness that they probably should use in other irons. It's a nice thing. You can get into an iron that maybe looks a lot more appealing to the eye, and it's got a ton of forgiveness to it.
You've got Forge Tech and Forge Tech X. This is more forgiving than both of those big profiles.
Yeah.
So maybe you're put off by that, that sort of look, but obviously the inflated size and footprint of that head is to try and sort of spread the mass. Well, if you can get sort of the ability to maneuver the materials how you want it, save the weight that you want, then you're going to give people the look that obviously they desire, but the performance that they need. Yeah. All right, let's see what Seven's got under the locker, or in the locker, Michael. That's a good one, because I didn't hit it very well.
Right.
I caught it very thin.
Got away with it. 15 millimeters low.
Yeah. Better, Mikey.
It's a nice flight. Sounds great.
Does sound good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a concern for some people, is a 3D printed part in some way inferior or less robust than a sort of, forged, pressed part, something that's been, pressed the way we see the Japanese forged clubs, Mizuno forged clubs. But when I saw the finished part, I was really, really impressed. We've been sort of sent 3D parts before of new models to look at, and you see it's kind of normally unpolished. It's got that very raw look to it. When I saw these for the first time, I couldn't quite believe how you really would never know this is a 3D printed part. You'd have no idea.
No, and when we hit it, when we first got it, the original media sample of the 7-iron, we all hit it and we're like, it's very hard now to feel the difference between forgings and casted clubs because the products are so good. But this is, for 3D printed, you would never think it's, multi-material.
No, not a chance.
All right, Faz, into the 4-iron. Thoughts on the looks of the 4-iron? Does it get a little longer heel to toe or stays pretty compact?
Very compact. It just, like, you become aware, very aware in the 4-iron of how little offset is on these irons. So they actually have a little less offset than the King Tours when looking at the spec sheet. So this is though where you start to be hopefully more aware of having the help.
Yeah.
You know, we see obviously how many players play combo sets nowadays, and I think the nature of the freedom in design that 3D printing gives you, what I think we'll see in the evolution of the placement of weight and how much we put a 4-iron versus a wedge, and you can truly make an individualized set of irons based on the amount of freedom you've got in the design.
Definitely.
I think that weight savings from the non sort of solid structure of the inside of the head is going to really make the set a kind of whole new ballgame. It's going to be a brand new sort of, almost people have to rethink the thing, you know, like from the start. It's like wipe the slate clean. Let's start thinking of this again. But let's see. Pretty good. Here, toy. That was solid, Mikey.
I like that flight.
Yeah, it's powerful, isn't it? It's a good looking flight.
I was worried as you get to the 6-5 4-iron with that lattice structure in the back that you'd get that really high pitch kind of clicky sound. I don't think you get that at all.
No.
It sounds really solid all the way throughout.
It really does.
It sounded so good.
All right, Larry. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm impressed. I love the sound of them, like we talked about. It's not a forged iron, it's 3D printed iron with a different kind of way they're making this material. They sound great. I mean, and you said they feel fantastic, which I hit these earlier, and I do like the feel of them as well. Impressive iron. Cool to see 3D printed irons coming to market. Very limited with this set. I think 500 sets global. 3,000 US dollars. But yeah, cool. I think they performed really well.
Gorgeous set of irons to look at. Really nice to hit. I will say that I feel like performance-wise, they're in line with what I see other irons that look like that do. So it's not, for me, the performance is not what is blowing me away here. It's the opportunity and the future of what they're capable of from 3D printing that is really, it got me excited after this test. I think the irons felt really nice, kind of in keeping with the T150 type thing, the Mizuno 243 type irons. That's the type of iron, but obviously it's got more forgiveness. We're talking about close to triple the amount of tungsten being used. And again, guys, whether it's us, whether it's the other channels you guys pay attention to, you'll hear everyone harping on about the amount of tungsten, but it's been able to use more meaningful material in the head in order to sort of mask those mishits. The last few 4-irons I hit were the best strikes I hit in the whole test. And my goodness, it felt good. Yeah. It really, really did.
Clubhead speed's quick off it. Ball speed is really, really good. Again, all your standard deviations and spin were really, really tight. Like it's impressive.
That's good for a 4-iron, isn't it?
Impressive set of irons. I think the cool thing is we were looking at a deck earlier that Cobra sent us, and they talked about MOI and forgiveness in an iron. I mean, we talk about that in woods all year long. Oh, the most MOI, most forgiveness. You talk about it in putters now, but to really have it in the conversation with these irons is it's different. It's cool. It's an addition to the industry that I think everyone's gonna start going towards.
It's going to change things, isn't it? And that was my initial thought. Was this seems like a bit of a shift in iron design and something that will be meaningful moving forward. There are kind of sort of timestamps of when heads and shafts became interchangeable, when movable weights became part of the whole gig. Materials started changing with carbon being added in there. This sort of feels like one of those. It initially comes at a high cost.
Yep.
And then obviously the sourcing of the materials and the processes, gets a little bit more cost effective. and that cost saving gets passed on to the consumer, and you guys benefit down the road from that. So, yeah, impressive stuff from Cobra. I just can't see where they're going next. As I say, I knew this iron was coming 2 years ago, so the nature of these things is what they actually have, what they're looking at right now with this is what excites me.
Yeah.
You know, this has probably been in concept since that 2 years, and you know, that 2 years ago sort of timeline. What they must be doing with that in prototype right now will be fascinating.
Yeah, it'd be night and day difference. I mean, probably from a year's time, maybe we'll see more for them. I saw photos of some of their 3D printed putters. Yeah, you know, cool to see them put into woods in the future. But yeah, excited to see what comes next.
Definitely, definitely. All right, well, congrats to the guys at Cobra. Amazing breakthrough in the industry. Amazing for them to lead the way in this new sort of manufacturing process of 3D printing golf clubs and changing the game. Yeah, I think the game has changed.
100%.
It really has, you know, and it'll be interesting to see who follows suit. But to be first to it, you know, kudos to Cobra Golf.
100%.
Excellent. All right, guys, lots more to come from us. Much more testing. There's a few more clubs coming through the door in the summer season. A few new additions to the matrix coming in, Michael.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots more to come. So stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.